guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Potomac. This is Season 8, Episode 3. So let's get into it. So before we get into it, y'all, we gonna get a little spicy, just a little bit. And honestly, I only have one spicy topic and two savory topics for you. So first up, the first one would be the savory topic, or one of the savory topics is Dr. Wendy. So shouts out to Wendy. It looks like she actually got her talk show slash podcast slash YouTube show off the ground. So I'm gonna play a brief clip. It's like a 50-second clip of her promotional of the actual show, and then we'll discuss.
I will be discussing everything from politics to pop culture to family life. We're going to talk about, these men out here in these streets and why they're acting crazy. We're going to talk about every single thing, and I'm just so excited to be on this journey with you. And I must also admit that I'm very nervous. And I think that my level of being nervous is something I want to share with you guys. Let this first episode with you guys just be real. I don't have it all figured out. But what I do know is I have something in my heart that keeps me up every day and every night. And that something has been in my heart for a long time.
It's always going to be there.
It's going to keep you up at night. And you will always say, what if? Do it.
All right, y'all. So you just heard Dr. Wendy's promotional advertisement for her show. Again, it looks like it might be like a YouTube channel show that is like, she probably renders the audio for a podcast, or maybe it's both. But y'all should check it out. Check it out. It seems like it premieres every Monday at 4 p.m. And if that's something you're into, check her out. So congratulations again to Miss Dr. Wendy Osefu. So the second savory thing is Chris Bassett. So y'all, I was scrolling on Twitter as I normally do, and I came across a tweet where someone was like, is that Candace's husband? Somebody go get Candace's husband. I said, what he doing? What Chris done did? So I look at this person's page, and it is a clip from this BET movie called Wake. And the synopsis of the movie is a narcoleptic professor believes she witnessed a murder in her neighborhood home at the hands of a rapper. She becomes obsessed with finding the truth and is hell-bent on taking him down before he turns his wrath on her and her friends. And I'll give y'all the screenshot of the scene, but I was like, oh my God, that's Chris. But I wanted to make sure, so I had to go on IMDb, and y'all, Chris got a credit. It says Chris Bassett, detective #1. I said, look at Chris, okay? In his acting bag too. But basically, Chris, in the scene that was posted, was him being a detective. And I just read the synopsis, so I don't know where that scene is in the movie. But shouts out to Chris. Okay, I ain't mad at you. Get your coin, bro. So the last thing we're going to talk about is Miss Nneka. This is our spicy topic. So Nneka posted a statement on her Twitter today at like 3:40. And this is what she had to say. It says, #RHOP. I have a publicist who handles all of my media and public relations. Any statements or communication attributed to me that do not come directly from my publicist or her office do not represent my views and should not be considered official. P.S. There is nothing to clean up when you're telling the truth. Miss Nneka. I'm going to just be honest. She could have kept this in her drafts. She could have, at least when we got a PR statement from Mia, it was like maybe, I want to say around around the middle of the season, like episode 11 or 12. We're on episode 3. And you already trying to release PR statements. That makes me feel like Nneka is trying to either get in front of something or try to like douse the flames of what is already happening towards her. I don't know. Either way, it feels like she was not totally prepared for the fandom that is Potomac. It's something about Potomac that turns the girls into feral. It just turns the girls feral. Like, people get really nasty when it comes to Potomac. And I feel as though she is not prepared for that. People were already like alleging and heavy on the alleged, because I haven't seen it with my own eyes. I don't follow none of the girls. I don't follow any housewife, to be honest. If something pops up on my timeline, I bring it to y'all and we talk about it in Spicy Corner. But I saw several tweets that were already making mention that it seems like Nneka allegedly has purchased bots to like be nice to her in her comment sections on Instagram, and that if anybody makes a statement in her IG that is negative towards her, I guess that comment gets flagged by her family members or friends, and then they delete it. Either way, it just seems like she wasn't prepared, or she's not having the best time dealing with this fandom. And honestly, I think some of the girlies on Potomac deserve hazard pay, but that's just me. But let's get into this review. All right, y'all. So the episode opens up where it left off, where we got Wendy and Ashley inside of her house. I forgot to add this in my last review, but Wendy was laying it on thick with Ashley, singing her praises. And I'm just like, I don't know how any of these ladies, more specifically Candace or Wendy, would ever want to be that light bulb headed fiend's friend. The only person that Ashley is loyal to on this cast or people is Giselle and that pasty wet looking demon of a husband, Michael. Other than that, she has been so nasty to everybody on this cast, and I don't get it, because there ain't no way I would want to be friends with her. Like, I just couldn't. So like I said, Wendy is really pouring into Ashley as they're sitting on the couch. Then Ashley brings up Nneka. Basically, she already brings up the conversation very shadily, because she's like, Nneka and I met up. I let her know that you were a doctor. She kind of had like a funny way of acknowledging it, where Nneka asks like, oh, so is she a medical doctor or a doctor of philosophy? And I was like, oh, she's a doctor of philosophy. Already kind of trying to make it seem that Nneka was downplaying Wendy's profession. Now, a lot of people felt like Nneka was being shady, because it's like, girl, you know what Real Housewives of Potomac is. You know who Wendy is. You know she's a doctor. I didn't read into it that much. I mean, some people asked that. I didn't really care. But the way that it's presented, it already makes it seem like Nneka was trying to be shady. Then Ashley brings up this article that was written by a blog that I think is not credible, that was released in 2020. Mind you, it was released during season 5. Why are you bringing up something that is 3 seasons ago if you really wanted to know? Because I remember Ashley saying last episode she had a friend that Ngozi, who, or Ngo, I think some people say it's called Ngozi, who is Nigerian. You could have asked that person, he or she, about this article. Why are you bringing this up now in season 8? So Wendy's kind of taken it back, like, okay. And the way it was presented, Ashley made it seemed like Nneka was pretty much saying that's Wendy's family is Osu, that she's not Osu, and that like it somewhat makes it seem like Wendy kind of has a funny reputation. Wendy lets it be known that her family isn't Osu, and that we get an explanation from Nneka, but it doesn't even seem like Nneka totally understands what she's talking about. But I was reading a lot of comments on Instagram and on Twitter from people who are Nigerian. You know, I mean, they had the flag in their bio, so I'm hoping that they not out here faking being Nigerian. But a lot of people had the same sentiments, where they said Osu was a part of an archaic system, a class system that the Nigerian people used to have, but they no longer have it. And normally that kind of comment is used as a dig, to be disrespectful, kind of along the lines of like making someone be like, oh, their family's ghetto or white trash. It's and like Wendy said, people get shunned for it. But she was just like, at my baby's sip and see, or my baby's what was it? Was it a bridal shower? No, not a bridal shower. It was a baby shower. She was like, you saw that there were so many people there. Like, if we were Osu, nobody would like nobody would come, nobody would respect my family. So while they're still in the house, we then see Mia sitting at the table with everybody else asking Robin, like, girl, are you okay? Because we've been seeing a lot of things. Are you okay? Robin gets down to the nitty gritty and pretty much tells them like she's fine. Like, I'm not running and hiding. Whatever you want to ask me about what's up with me and Juan, you can ask me. We're happy. She was like, and I wish Ashley was sitting at this table so I can tell you, but I did tell Juan about what happened. I also was marinating on the things that y'all said to me at this little intervention. And you know what? I don't like it. She was like, and so Karen and Mia are like, well, what happened? And Robin was like, pretty much, y'all want me to be mad at, like, Giselle and them want me to be mad at Wanda, and I'm not. And Giselle kind of had this look on her face, like, Robin, like, what are you doing? Kind of taken aback by Robin's stance. And Robin was just kind of like, Giselle wants me to be mad. And Giselle was like, no, I just want you to, and she cut Giselle off and was like, no, you want me to be mad. And Mia even made a note of it being like, it's kind of funny to see them fight like Beavis and Butthead. And I was like, yeah, it does. It look a little crazy. Because Giselle and Robin always kind of had this united front, and to kind of see a little bit of turmoil between them is interesting. Because I think I've always thought when they would have beef, I would be on Robin's side more so of Giselle. But I can see where Giselle is coming from. Like, girl, you out here looking stupid and delusional, and I'm your friend, and it's my duty to make sure you don't keep looking this way. But, it is what it is. So then they bring up Karen and Robin needing to have a conversation. So Karen pretty much says, Giselle thinks I owe you an apology, Robin. I think you owe me an apology, but if you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation. So they get up and they go inside and they have, a sit down. So they have this conversation, and shout out to the Karenettes and the Robinitas, because those two fan bases have been saying for the longest time that Karen and Robin have always had tension, but everybody was just blindsided, or not blindsided, but too preoccupied with Karen versus Giselle. And I didn't see the tension until last season, but I started to remember like old situations between Robin and Karen. And I was like, yeah, they always been kind of throwing like shade at each other left and right. So I was just like, wow, I really wasn't paying attention to that. So while they're sitting there, Karen and Robin pretty much agree that they're not going to bring rumors about each other to the group anymore because, Robin brought up the whole Blue Eyes situation and Karen being in, like, I think they said Vegas with some man in a Washington State jersey. Then you had Karen bringing up seeing Juan down in Georgetown with some blonde-headed girl that looked like Karen. So they both say, yeah, we gonna leave it alone. Then Karen asks Robin, like, can I ask you like a serious question? Like, sis, are you and Juan in a traditional marriage or a open relationship? And Robin was like, Karen, I'm in a traditional relationship. And Karen was like, okay, that's all I need to hear. And I'm going to respect it. I think Robin just needs to say they're in a open marriage. Even if they're not in an open marriage, if you're going to let that man cheat in peace, at least allow yourself some sort of protection. Because if he told me he didn't care that the block was hot and that everybody was coming at my neck, then I would just go into protecting myself mode. That I'd be like, yes, we're in an open marriage, and that's what we're trying to figure out right now. What are the rules in terms of our relationship? And that's why I feel like it's hard when people be like, oh, we just don't understand Robin and Juan are in an open marriage. If she tells us they're not in an open marriage, even though a lot of people feel like they have an arrangement, but she's not like confirming it, all we can think is that man is out here making a fool of her and cheating on her. So that's on Robin at this point. Because if I was her, I would just be like, yeah, I'm in an open relationship. It is what it is. But like I said, Robin and Karen are on the inside. On the outside, we have everybody else sitting down and they're just talking. Ashley brings up Wendy trying to do her show. And so Wendy tries to explain what the show is going to be about. She talks about how, like, she likes to, like, her political commentary is fun and all, but there's certain conversations that she would like to have that she seems like the network shy away from. So while she's explaining what her show was about, Mia is kind of like sitting in her seat, slurping on her drink, being annoying. And I could tell, like, it was pissing Wendy off. And that's when Wendy started the whole slow comment. So then Wendy ends up saying, like, a lot of the content that I'm trying to do is for things to vibrate highly, and not everybody's going to get what I'm talking about. It's going to go over a few people's heads. So then Mia's like, what are you trying to say, Wendy? Because everyone's like, it feels like you're trying to be shady. And Wendy's like, no, I'm just saying that some of the content that I make might just vibrate too highly for certain people. So then that's when Mia makes a comment about Wendy trying to be for women's empowerment, but she always trying to put people down. And then Wendy said, well, Mia, you're slow, so you wouldn't get it. And Mia's like, see, Wendy, how are you going to be for women's empowerment and talking about uplifting women where you're always throwing digs? And I said, Mia, you threw a drink at that lady. And that's what Wendy said. Wendy's like, you threw a drink at me and you hit her with your purse. You lucky that lady didn't call you a dumb bitch, because that's what I would have called you. Because at this, I'd have been like, I don't even know why you speaking to me. And Wendy also says, like, you even doubled down on what you did to me after we left the reunion when we was in New York. So I don't understand why Mia thought Wendy would be so welcoming towards her. It's like Mia does things to people and then expects everyone to just be like, oh, it's okay because it's Mia. And it's like, colossal feat. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. So they sitting at the table. I'm giggling. While this all is happening, you can see Giselle. Like, it looked like Giselle wanted to say something, but she knew if she said something, Wendy was probably going to cuss her out. So she just sat there, as well as Giselle knows for a fact if Mia did what Wendy did to her, that lady wouldn't be on the show. She would be actively participating and trying to ice that girl out. So let's not. I think Giselle knew to keep her mouth shut and sit there. So while that's happening, they all decide to go inside. We then see Robin and Nneka having a drink at the little makeshift bar area. And Nneka is just taken aback by everybody. She's just kind of like, this is a lot of chaos going on. So when they go inside the house, before they go inside the house, Robin is telling Nneka, like, it's okay. Like, it's just what it is. It comes with the territory of being a part of all of this. Then you got Deborah walking up behind Robin. And why were they playing like very ominous music? It was like from a slasher film. I said, what the hell? But everyone goes inside, and Wendy decides to invite Ashley in front of all the girls to her son's baptism. But she doesn't invite Mia, Robin, Charisse, or Giselle or Nneka. And Mia kind of makes a face like she's taken aback, like, oh my God, how dare she? But then everyone was like, well, Robin did it last season, so you really can't be that mad. And Robin wasn't really bothered by it because she's like, if she thinks she's getting me back from last season, she's actually doing me a favor because I wouldn't have went anyway. I said it is what it is at this point. So the next couple of scenes, we see Grace getting ready to go to prom. Giselle is happy about that, proud of her daughter, graduating, going to college, and excited to experience this moment with her going to prom. We then see Juan and Robin. I don't know why they were showing us them walking up the street looking at a dead snake. We get footage of Candace while she's on tour for her deep space tour, and she's just like, basking in the fact that she never thought this would happen. We then finally come to a scene of Wendy and her kids. So we find out that the boys are, like I said, about to have their I said christening. Did I say or baptism? I don't think they baptize kids in the Catholic faith unless they're babies. I'm Baptist, so I know we baptize people. I think no, it was first communion. My bad, y'all. It was first communion. And so Wendy is talking about how like getting her kids ready for it. Her two boys are about to have their first communion. She's like telling everyone that they're supposed to wear yellow while they wear white because I guess yellow was a prominent color in the Bible. And she knows she's just excited that her kids are having this experience. She talks about when she was 7 and she had her first communion and how that was the first time she got all really dolled up, and like her family took her to Golden Corral afterwards and she just felt so important and so happy with herself. So while the kids are like, practicing taking the bread and the blood of Jesus, we see Eddie. I shouts out to him with his Happy Eddie gear. We see Eddie and Wendy in their bedroom, and Wendy's like folding clothes, but she's telling Eddie about what Ashley said Nneka said about her. Pretty much, Wendy said Ashley made it seem like Nneka brought up that we were Osu, or implied that we were Osu based off of that article. And Wendy's like, why? Eddie's like, why would she bring that up? And Wendy's like, I don't know, because I thought we was cool. She another Nigerian like me. I thought we was going to hit it off, but I guess not. And Eddie says, like, maybe that's just somebody you don't need to associate yourself with. And she's like, yeah, I'm definitely considering that. We then get this scene of Karen going to visit Mia at her apartment. And, Mia opens the door. The kids are excited to see Karen. Karen's still hitting Mia with the handshake, even with the kids around. And Mia is still kind of like, for real? So it's kind of chaotic in there. Not kind of, it's chaotic in their house. Y'all know they ain't got no money. They had to downsize. And they also don't have a nanny anymore. So G is on his daddy duty roles. So he takes the kids out to go ride their scooters. While they're sitting in the apartment, Karen and Mia are eating some little like fruits and stuff. Mia is talking to Karen about the whole situation with Wendy. And Karen is like, what happened with Wendy while we were inside? Well, no. Mia brings up about how Wendy didn't invite them to her two sons' baptism. And now, why do I keep calling it a baptism? Not a christening, my God, Leah. Communion. And Karen was like, yeah, I didn't think it was right, but she was probably getting her get back for when Robin did it to her kids. So she was just kind of like, you don't get to be a part of this. This is a special moment. So then Mia's like, while we're talking about kids, Wendy called me slow, and my child is dealing with a speech impediment. He has an IUP. I think it's an IEP. And I said, I know for a fact this big-footed lady is not trying to compare being called slow to conflate it with her child having a speech impediment. And I was like, are you serious, Mia? Are you serious? Now Mia's in the confessional talking about like, she needs to be cognizant of the things she said. You need to be cognizant of keeping your hands to yourself. Huh? Because Mia's dumb. Oh my gosh, sometimes Mia is fun, but oftentimes that lady is dumb, because there's no way you are sitting here trying to say because Wendy called you slow, she was talking about your kid. And then she was like, well, they call my son slow, like, because she said she heard kids teasing her son. And I was like, no, you're taking that personable. And what it sounds like to me is Mia is hurt by the fact that her kid is, getting bullied, which is wrong for her child to be teased because they have a speech impediment. And now she feels like it reflects negatively on her as a parent, because now she's questioning it. Did she contribute to the situation her child is going through? But to try to say that Wendy called you slow is on the same lines of calling you, it was stupid. I don't even talk about it no more. It's stupid. We then get this scene of Wendy, Candace, and Knock Them Out Kiana. Kiana pull up to this really nice restaurant. I thought it was cute when the bartender was like, you should get a, I think, a PTA or a pretty thing with an attitude when he saw Candace. And Candace was like, do I give you that? He said, yes, ma'am, you do. And I was like, oh, he working good for that tip. But they're all three sitting down. The restaurant that they're at, I guess is like two stores down from Kiana, who has her own like med spa. So while they're sitting there, Wendy is catching them up on what happened at Ashley's housewarming. And Wendy pretty much is catching Candace and Kiana up on everything, saying that, I met, the house is lovely. I met this other new girl named Nneka. And, Ashley told me that she was saying these things about me, about my family being Osu, about making disparaging remarks about my doctorate. And Candace, thank God, Candace was like, girl, you got this from Ashley. Are the red flags not going off? Because Ashley likes to embellish and add things. And I was like, yes, thank you, Candace. Thank you. Because Wendy, what we doing? But Wendy lets Candace know that she invited Ashley to the boys' communion. And Wendy's like, I really want you guys to be friends. And I'm like, Wendy, shut up. And Candace was like, girl, Ashley's cool, but Ashley will stab you in your ear. Like, she is not somebody to be trusted. And she was like, I see it for what it is at this point. We then get this scene of Karen and Ashley going to look for yellow outfits for the christening. Ashley is one of the, like, as much flack as we give Giselle for not being able to dress, Ashley can't either. Ashley cannot dress to save her life. So they pull up to this boutique. I don't know how, but Karen got bit in the face. I was like, I wonder if it was a mosquito or something. So they're in this establishment. Ashley is kind of like, this store ain't really my vibe. It's very matronly. I said, Ashley, what is your style? Because it gives very much like beachside cheap resort wear. That's what it gives. Like, it's not very nice. So while they're there and while Ashley is trying to try on outfits, Karen is asking Ashley, like, what is up with this lawsuit with Michael and Candace? Ashley is like, I don't know nothing. You probably know more than me because you talked to Candace. And Karen is like, nah, I asked Candace about it and she being real tight-lipped about it. And they show a flashback scene where Candace is like, I'm not talking about that with y'all. I am not talking about that with y'all. Then Candace starts to talk, Karen brings up the fact that she was surprised that nobody said Candace's name. And she was like, it feels like people are trying to ice Candace out. And they show a flashback of Candace being like, I'm actually happy none of y'all brought me up because I don't really care about them people like that. It's whatever. So then Ashley talks about like her bunions hurting. So I guess she got bunions on her feet. And so they go and sit down to have a conversation. While they're sitting down, what's her name? Karen brings up about the whole slow comment that Wendy made. And Karen tries to take up for Mia with the whole, I think Wendy needs to be more careful about her words because Karen, because Mia's son is dealing with a speech impediment. And Ashley even clocked it, like Mia is reaching and she's trying to ride this all the way. I also didn't bring up how Karen said that she is the fence and the ladies ride her all night long. I said, Karen, what? And that was Karen's response to it. Mia was like, you stay like straddling the fence. I was like, okay, Karen. Okay. When Karen really doesn't. Karen picks sides. She does. So this is when Ashley takes it upon herself to pretty much tell Karen about the whole Osu situation and how she pretty much feels like she put 20 on 10 and she misconstrued the conversation that she had with Nneka. And Karen is like, really, Ashley, you really misconstrued the conversation or this was just your MO all along? And Ashley's like, no, I made it seem like Nneka was talking badly about Wendy, but she wasn't. I kind of made it also seem like she brought up the article when she really didn't. And so I need to make it right. So I'm going to try my best to make it right at the christening, not at the communion, at the brunch. So we actually get to see the boys take their communion. It was really nice scene, nice family scene to add. And then we finally get to the brunch location. Wendy's dress was actually really pretty. Eddie looked handsome too. And everyone's there. We're seeing like godparents, aunts, and uncles. All of them are like, being a right, like your proper community for the kids. And then we see Wendy's mama. Now, y'all, that lady was not that light. I said, and you know what? That's the thing. When people bleach, your hands are a dead giveaway. And I was just like, Wendy, why would you let your mama be on TV like this? Why? Like, that lady was not that light when we first met her. She was not. I said she out here. What's that famous Dominican baseball Sammy? Is it Sammy Sosa? Is that who he is? Sammy Sosa. Let me Google, y'all. Yes, it is Sammy Sosa. Oh my God. Just out here looking like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Oh, mama, why? Oh my God. So we see her. Karen is the first one to pull up. Wendy's mama is being Wendy's mama, talking about these are my children. I birthed them because I gave birth to you. She talking about how she's ready to pray. She gonna be the one to leave the family prayer. We also find out that like Wendy's parents were married, but the dad was too much of a Protestant. Instead of, I guess they were having different issues about how they wanted to raise their kids because Wendy's mom is a devout Catholic. So pretty much, like I said, Karen gets there, then Candace gets there, then we see Kiana, and then we see Ashley. But before Ashley gets there, they're all sitting down at the table. They're just congratulating Wendy, saying how this is such a beautiful occasion and thanks for inviting them. And then Ashley pulls up. I said, girl, it's Sunday. Why is your titties out? Why do you have Diamond? I think, did she call him Diamond and Demi? Her new titties out. And she has like bikini lines up her. I said, Ashley, you have no couth because where's your jacket? Where you ain't got even a little shawl or something. I told y'all it gives cheap resort wear. So Ashley pulls up. She apologizes for her attire because them titties is out. And Candace is looking at her like, girl, cover them things away. But also Candace doesn't want to give Ashley her seat because her purse was sitting in her seat. And she was like, do you have a chair for my purse? Because that's a superstition of Black people. Especially Black women, if you put your purse on the ground, it means like it's like bad vibes, like you'll be broke or somebody might, it's bad luck. It's bad luck. So Candace was looking for a chair. Wendy actually thanks Candace and Ashley for being there, even though they know that they don't really like each other. Candace was like, I can be in the same room with Ashley and we be fine. And Ashley says, you know what? I respect that about you. Like, same with you. I'm good with you. Then Ashley decides to tell Wendy, like, I misconstrued the conversation that I had with Nneka. Like, Nneka did not bring up about the Osu thing. And Wendy's like, well, Ashley, you made it seem like she did bring it up. Like, she was the one with the article. Candace is looking at Wendy like, see, I told you that girl was a liar from the pits of hell. And Wendy is like looking at her like, but that's what you told me. And Ashley did not say that Nneka brought up the article, but Ashley made it seem like she insinuated that Nneka was the one that was leading the charge for the conversation. That she brought up the article, but Nneka didn't bring up the article. Ashley did. Ashley was the one that started it. So Ashley is apologizing to Wendy, and Wendy is kind of like, okay, I'm gonna just leave it. We good. If she didn't do it, she didn't do it. While they're at the brunch, we then get this scene of Robin and Nneka meeting up to have lunch. So like I said, Nneka and Robin are meeting up to have drinks or to have lunch, and while they're there, Robin and Nneka seem to like be vibing. Okay. And Robin asks Nneka like, oh, so Wendy, since you guys are a part of the same community. And Nneka's like, I was actually surprised that she didn't greet me with some type of aggression. And Robin is like, why would she greet you with some type of aggression? So Nneka ends up saying that her and Wendy have seen each other in passing As someone who grew up in Northern Virginia in the DMV area, there is a large Nigerian community as well as a large Ghanaian community. One of my closest friends is Ghanaian. Her parents just moved back to Ghana this week. And like she's told me all about her family events. Like they always are having something going on. So their communities are big but also small at the same time. So I do believe that they probably seen each other at events and stuff like that, but maybe never have made like connections or like really had a conversation with each other. But Nneka said they saw each other at a concert. And Wendy was like with Eddie and she was like glaring at her. And Nneka ends up saying that Wendy's sister Ivy and her cousin-in-law have known each other for almost like 13 years. And Ivy was calling the sister-in-law to basically tell her that like Wendy was pissed off that Nneka was like using her name to get onto Potomac or to get on the Potomac or to be around these groups of ladies. Robin is like, what? She really did that? And she was like, yeah. So then Nneka ends up saying that Wendy's mom called, I guess, the same cousin and was like, have I ever prayed with you or prayed for you? And I guess in their culture, they refer to the elders as auntie. And Nneka was like, Nneka said the cousin-in-law was like, you probably have, like, I've known you for so long, auntie, you probably have. And she said, but have I ever prayed against you? So then Nneka says that, basically explaining what the cousin told her, that Wendy's mom pretty much was like threatening to like, I guess, do spiritual warfare against the girl by putting her name on her altar and like praying or like putting a root on her. So Nneka then explains that the cousin said that Wendy's mom said that she was infamous in DC and you better ask about her, that all the people that she's prayed against have met their downfall. So then Robin is like, oh my gosh, she doing voodoo on us? She's doing voodoo on you? Like maybe she's doing it on me because my life has been crazy these past couple of days, these past couple of months. And I'm like, Robin, that was an ignorant ass statement to make. Then Nneka's like, yeah, I'm like really scared. And I'm like, Nneka, you're stupid. You are such a stupid person because the optics of this situation, for you to be a lawyer, I guess you suck at your job too, because the optics of this situation makes you look like such a tap dancing op right now, because it's like you're a Nigerian, Wendy's Nigerian. It's giving when there can only be one. And granted, a lot of the Nneka fans, I don't know how that lady got fans already, are saying that's how Wendy was treating Nneka before the show, and that's why Nneka's bringing this to the show. Either way, we didn't see Wendy doing that, but we see Nneka doing it right now, and she looks like an op. She looks lame as hell right now. And it's just kind of like, Nneka's stupid. This production company is stupid, because genuinely, y'all should have stopped them from having this conversation. Y'all moved from colorism to xenophobia. And even if you didn't want to call it xenophobia, it looks like religious discrimination, because even if the lady has an altar, so what? Like, Christians have altars. I know a couple of people got prayer closets with a bunch of passages on the closet and crosses everyone. Where? That's a shrine. That's an altar. Like, they go in there and pray. Like, it's just like, oh, y'all are stupid. And it's like, and even if it's true that the mama got a shrine with your name on it, and y'all, you scared, I wouldn't even speak about it. If she really is infamous in DC and she out here casting, doing spiritual warfare on you, you bringing this up, acting like she ain't gonna take you down even harder. This was just a stupid way to introduce this beef. Because now it looks like Nneka came on the show just to beef with Wendy and be the token dark skin, to be like, oh, we're not colorist. That's what it's given. And that might not even be what it is, but it already started out bad with Ashley bringing up this conversation, trying to paint Nneka as trying to say disparaging things about Wendy. It's just like, really, y'all? Really? But okay. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and hop down in them comments below. Deuces.